This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. Good morning. Merry Christmas, KFAB Nation. We are broadcasting live from the KFAB studio high above Underwood Avenue in beautiful downtown Dundee. Show's brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, 4 metro area locations taking care of your car's body as well as its innards. They have mechanical services as well. Folks, you are with the only show in the metro area that talks about business expansion, real estate construction, generally speaking, the growth and development of Omaha. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a legendary real estate deal maker and a right jolly old elf, Trenton Magid.
Merry Christmas Eve, Jeff.
Trenton, Merry Christmas Eve. And it's really
Hello,
exciting. Very exciting week this week because Sarah Baker Hansen, as part of the Grow Omaha Eats restaurant series, has released her favorites among the 25 restaurants she reviewed in 2023. And this article is available by going to growomaha.com, clicking on Eats, that's EATS, in the navigation bar. And you can see, now there's a graphic when you get there in which she mentions all 25 restaurants she reviewed, but 8 of them were lucky enough to make her favorites list. And I'm going to mention the 8. The first one is Ota, which is David Uderbach's restaurant, sushi restaurant. He's the same guy that has Yoshitomo. We'll talk more about that actually later in the show.
And Koji.
Not to mention Koji, yeah, very good. Boiler Room, south of the Old Market, or in the southern part of the Old Market. That was number 2. And then her number 3 one is Kanara. Everyone loves Kanara. Regency Court.
Nice owners.
Very good Indian food, the best. Number 5 was Moots, the former pizza truck turned brick and mortar restaurant on the north side of Countryside Village. Number 6, Lyle's, yet another pizza place in Midtown on Leavenworth at about 52nd Street. Number 7 was a coffee shop, The Mill on Leavenworth. That's part of that area on Leavenworth that has really been undergoing a lot of metamorphosis lately.
Remember that Leavenworth used to be like lock your doors, and now it's really becoming a hip place to go.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was ironically thinking the exact same thing maybe a few weeks ago when I was driving on that corridor. It used to be the street that you would never take someone from out of town on, and now it's on its way to becoming very cool.
Remember what you called it?
Leavenworthless?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But now it's Leavenworth a lot. It's worth a lot. And number 8 is Omaha Bagel Company. That's tricky because they don't have a bricks and mortar store. You have to order and make arrangements to pick up the bagels. Hopefully not in a dark alley.
Storefrontless. And I thought it was interesting. I was reading some of the comments, and some people were concerned. You know, everybody throws in extra favorites and things like that. And then there's always debate on whether, like, Nationals, something that's a chain, shouldn't be included on the list. Yeah, absolutely. And there have been times where Sarah will review a chain, if it's, of substance, or maybe it's a big chain that's new to the area. But the vast majority of her reviews are, as most people would say appropriately, local restaurants. And we encourage you to kind of take a look at it. It's a bit of a long read, not going to lie to you, but it gives you a lot of details about each one of those restaurants. And you can find it, like I said, on the EATS Eats section of the navigation bar of growomaha.com. And by the way, the Grow Omaha restaurant reviews, Grow Omaha Eats, are sponsored by Cheer Athletics. And Trenton, we know a lot about Cheer Athletics, even though neither you nor I probably have the flexibility to be a cheer all-star cheer athlete. But Cheer Athletics, be the base, at least.
You'd be the base of the pyramid. It's located, the Omaha facility is located southwest of highways 50 and 370 in Papillion. And it's one of only about a dozen cheer athletics locations across country. Started in Dallas, and it is considered the #1 all-star cheer gym in the country, if not the world. And if your kids or grandkids are looking for a place where they can compete and grow and develop and become better human beings, Cheer Athletics is where it's at.
Totally.
And with that, we're going to go into our news of the week. And Trenton, who is the sponsor of our news in the week?
News of the week is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. Eagle Mortgage is at 114th in Davenport. Holly Schneiderwind does a fabulous job with her team of getting you the best deals on your home mortgages. You should get pre-qualified because now that rates are coming down, and they've got a number of banks and lenders that can shop it for you and get you that dream home. EagleMortgageCompany.com is where you can find them online. And first up on the news, we have construction beginning soon on a future tourist attraction and recreation attraction in Council Bluffs. It's going to be in River's Edge, which is one of our Noddle Company's developments here in town. And Tom Hannafin, River's Edge Park, part of River's Edge. Anyway, we've got some private funding that came in for this, and so construction's going to start pretty soon. There's going to be a structure called the Mid-American Energy Adventure Tower. The Mid-American Energy Adventure Tower, it's going to be 138 feet tall. We've been waiting for this.
Yeah, and then they're going to have like this thing that's kind of like a zip line, but you're actually on a metal structure. There's going to be a 50-foot climbing wall. There's going to be a half-mile long treetop parkway, which will kind of wind you through those trees north of the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge.
Is it on the ground?
The trails.
Or is it a treetop, or is it like one of the things at the Fondell Forest?
Well, it's going to have to be attached to the ground so they can walk, but it's going to be elevated so you feel like you're walking in the trees.
But they're also going to have synthetic caves.
Yeah. Oh, everything. This whole thing is going to be cool. And a lot of entities have donated money to this. Completion is planned for 2025, so it's not that far away. You'll see it going vertical next year. And again, if you can't picture it, just picture the Iowa landing of the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge.
Great lawn.
And the Great Lawns there, it's part of the River's Edge development, which is a Noddle Company's project. And this will be just north of the Bob Carey Bridge. If you can picture that in your mind, there are a lot of just trees that kind of go right up to the river on the wet side of the levee. That's where this is all going to be.
I'm pretty sure they had to work with the airport and the FAA for being that tall.
I don't know. I mean, it's far enough back, but
should have a couple flashing lights on it.
Because the two spires of the Bob Carey Missouri River pedestrian bridge are about 125 feet tall. Yeah, you're right. I suspect it'll have something flashing on the top of it. Speaking of tall things in that area with flashing lights on them, got a progress report for the future Mutual of Omaha headquarters skyscraper at 14th and Farnham. We monitor that at Grow Omaha for you. We check it every week to see how progress is coming along.
Still there.
And it's getting taller. The shear tower, which is the concrete core in the middle of any high-rise building, that has I don't know how you describe them, but they have these adjustable concrete forms that rise with the tower. And the concrete form rose this week. And so now it's actually starting to go vertical. It's still only about the equivalent of about a 3-story building. But you should start to see some vertical progress here coming up pretty soon now that they've taken care of that. Also, the parking garage, which will take up the majority of the lower levels, I think the first 12 levels of the building, really starting to come along well. So that construction is doing great. And we got some good news about population growth in Nebraska. It has rebounded to healthy levels in the past year, according to a World Herald article. The population growth in Nebraska had been more anemic than usual during and immediately following the pandemic year. But now the Census Bureau estimates that Nebraska's population is or was at 1,978,000 as of July 1st, this past July 1st. That's up more than 10,000 people from the 2022 estimate. That's nice. That's a lot more growth than we had during 20 and 2021. Now, we don't yet know on a per county basis. And as soon as we know what the population estimates are on a per county basis, we can do the math and tell you the Omaha metropolitan area estimate. And that, I suspect, should be coming out in the next couple of months. So good news there, good progress there as well.
We can always do more to bring in new blood.
And we need to do a heck of a lot more because we are still as a state losing on net domestic migration. So in other words, number of Americans who move out and number of Americans who move in, we're still as a state behind. We're in the negative category. The only reason our population is growing is because births are outnumbering deaths and foreign immigration, international immigration. And we want to grow both of those ways, but we also need to fix that net migration problem. It's a narrow net negative right now, and we need to turn it into a significant net positive.
Get busy, Nebraskans. Start procreating more.
Well, there's that, or we can continue to create business opportunities, recreational entertainment opportunities. And there's been a lot of talk about the state of Nebraska doing some things tax-wise in terms of population growth incentives. Sounds like some of that could be on the docket for this next legislative session. We need to do that. Last legislative session, we made some progress cutting income tax rates, which that would be important. I know that the no income tax in South Dakota has helped that state have net in-migration, and that's a state that is pretty unpopulated.
I like their commercials with their governor. She's playing like an accountant.
I don't think I've seen them.
Things like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't watch a lot of TV, but so I think I've missed those, but I'll have to maybe...
I just record the commercials, watch them later.
I'll have to... Well, maybe you can send me a recording of your commercial so I can see what that looks like. We've got some good news about traffic at Eppley International Airport. And it looks like this year it will exceed 5 million passengers.
Holy moly.
And that's good because that is the ammunition we need to keep that major terminal expansion and modernization process online. We suspect that's going to start sometime next year. Of course, right now they're already working on the exterior canopy and drop-off pickup area. But the airport authority put out a press release this week saying that the airport expects approximately 306,000 passengers to go through the terminal between December 15th and January 4th, the heart of the holiday traffic season. That is an 8.5% increase from last year. So, Trenton, we have the 4 busiest travel days of the winter holiday Christmas season provided to us by the airport authority. You might find this interesting. Christmas Eve, not on there. But number 1 will be Wednesday, December 27th. So apparently they expect everyone going home after visiting relatives on the 27th. Thursday, the 21st, which was a couple days ago, was number 2. Wednesday, December 20th, 3 days ago, was number 3, and yesterday was number 4. So it looks like everyone trickles in to Omaha before Christmas, and then bam, everyone's out of here on Wednesday.
We are that much closer to a moving walkway at the Omaha airport.
All I know is when we have the big new long terminal that will be one long narrow terminal instead of the 2 satellites like we have now, if there is not a moving sidewalk, we're probably going to have to seek counseling for Trenton because you've wanted one of those for a long time. I kind of wouldn't mind to see one of those as well. And then finally, for news of the week, you may remember a mid-city bank that existed at 42nd and Farnham. This was the bank building. It's closed now, but this was the bank building that was on an island.
And had parking underneath it.
Yeah, it had parking underneath it. It was an island surrounded by 42nd Street, Farnham Street, and then Farnham Street would curve into Harney Street.
Nebraska Medicine owns it, don't they?
Yeah, and they're tearing it down. The fencing is going up around it. Noticed that yesterday, and so we expect demo to start on that pretty soon. My suspicion, based on what we've been able to gather, talking to some med center people, is that it probably will just be, the land will probably just be inventoried for future expansion, what have you. But yeah, it's been this closed, orphaned little building on an island that is soon to be no more.
I think it needs some Kaneko dangos. Those
that would be a perfect spot for a big
pods, the dumplings, local artist June Kaneko, and it'd be a great holding place for that.
Yeah. So in other words, a major outdoor art installation, and you're recommending it be a June Kaneko piece. I would agree with that. That'd be a perfect spot for one. Could have some lights shining on it, and it would be like a nice little entryway to that corner of the Med Center campus. And by the way, Med Center campus, if you haven't been by the Saddle Creek campus, which is the new part of the Med Center west of Saddle Creek Road, the Catalyst building, which is a renovation of the old Omaha Steelworks manufacturing plant, really coming along. The facade is going on the east side, and it's looking great, making a lot of progress. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. You can find them in person at 114th and Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. Going to take our first break of the hour, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about some recognition in a national trade journal for a downtown development project and some other things as well. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Yeah, my levels are down.
I'll boost
Have I been looking at the microphone and not Jeff?
You know, if you wore your headphones, you would know, because you could hear when you turn your head and cough.
Bend over and cough. All right, so not all.
And as I was going
about
through
two
and
and a
reading,
half.
thank you. As I was going through and reading that piece of information about the bridge, I'm like, that should have been the Noddle company report, because it's River's Edge. What was I thinking? I hate myself.
Let us come take a look at your property to make sure you don't have any damage from the recent storms.
Restaurants, where
Team
do...
will help you through the process.
What's going on at Builders District? Timber building.
There's really that, there's that rumor that
What about
Trader Joe's
2
is
minutes?
going there. Gracias.
How about Steel Ridge, north and south, and all the activity,
You feel comfortable
They
talking
got
about
some outlets there.
Oh, I like the progress of the H&H Kia dealership. And
Yeah.
all. You want to talk about that? Okay.
Yeah, right there.
I'll turn it over to you. That's not until after the news anyway.
Before Christmas Day. Savings or mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. Sorry, no price adjustment.
Okay, what else? There's Kia. What else is going out there? Shine.
90 seconds.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
T minus.
T-minus 88 seconds.
What's the Beals family doing this weekend?
Tonight we've got the Beals Graves Ferrazzo Christmas at my sister's house, and doing all that.
Which sister?
Jill's. She always hosts, Scott and Jill, and then do the Christmas.
How many people is that?
There's 21 of us.
60 to bumper.
Your parents come?
I like this. I like this 60. This is a level of professionalism.
This is working with us.
Yeah. I like this.
Came from a theater background. Time is everything with those guys.
I hope you keep doing it. I like this.
No, I think they have a lot of political causes too.
They know how to waste time too, so.
Hey, Michael, can I borrow your microphone for this segment? Thank you, sir.
This will be interesting.
Oh, we can do it. We can do it.
All right. Oh! Now that I don't know what to do. That's interesting. We got 20 seconds, so.
Okay, we'll just leave it here.
Why did you do that?
15
Why do we need another mic?
Do you need me to buy me some more time here? Because I can
we're good.
definitely
We're good.
do that. Okay.
As long as it doesn't fall and hit the red button. No, leave it in. It's hilarious.
All right, bumpers in.
I like that bumpers in.
That was there for 40 years.
We're starting.
3, 2.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. Brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. By the way, if you are in an accident, you have a fender bender, you have someone ding your door or scratch the side of your car, whether on accident or maliciously, doesn't matter. Go to Dingman's Collision Center. And wherever you are in town, there's a location that's fairly nearby. Trenton, where are those Dingman's Collision Center locations?
I'm glad you asked, Jeff, about Center and Saddle Creek, 120th and Maple Street, which is both a collision center and a mechanic shop. They are at in downtown Papillion on 84th Street, and the mothership is at 144th and Industrial Road.
And all of them will do a great job, so we highly recommend Dingman's and
I
thank
worked
them for
with them on most of them.
Yeah, I say you've put them in a lot of those locations as their real estate broker.
Yeah, they're good people.
Well, some of you who are long time listeners may remember years ago there would occasionally be a kid that we would have on the show named Jack, my son Jack, and my son Jack, when he was like in kindergarten and first grade and second grade, would come to the studio all the time, and remember Trenton, he used to always climb all over you when he was a little kid, like you were a jungle gym.
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Well, he's 18 almost now.
Yeah, he better not climb on me now.
So he can't do that. But Jack, come up here and say hi on the microphone a little bit. Say hi to everyone so they can hear you.
How's it going, guys?
That is Jack Beals, senior at Millard West High School. Used to be here all the time and be on the show. And in recent years, he's been way too busy to come join us. But it's nice for you to come see us this morning, Jack.
Athleticism in the Beals family skips a generation, and Jack Beals is proof of that. And he was a prolific baseball player, weightlifter, ladies' man, and all around. And you're big at, is it DECA?
Yeah.
Yeah, Distributive Education Centers of America?
I didn't even know that.
Yes, correct.
And Jack, where are you
Clubs
going?
of America.
Where are you going to school next year?
Lincoln.
University of Nebraska, Lincoln.
Sure am.
And Trenton, I don't think that was very nice for you to say athleticism skips a generation in our family. I was a tremendous athlete. Pause.
You had a lot of sports facts.
I know you still watch a lot of sports.
If that counts.
At any rate, it's good to have Jack
I shouldn't
back
be
here.
talking.
Good to have Jack here back in the studio.
But I did play football until 9th grade.
I actually remember you playing football at Valley View Junior High School when we went to school there in the
I was
early 80s.
exceptionally average.
But you played. What's the old saying? I would rather be in the arena and lose than never compete at all.
Yeah.
At least you gave it a shot.
Thank you.
You can always feel pretty good about that. Have a lot of you maybe have heard about Site Selection Magazine on previous episodes of Grow Omaha. I doubt many of you have a subscription, but Site Selection Magazine is a trade journal for the economic development industry, widely read. These are people like, Chamber of Commerce folks, economic development people, the people whose job it is to recruit corporations or they work for corporations identifying sites, that industry. And Site Selection has an article in its November edition. Headline is "The Parks That Herald Omaha's Return to the River." And basically, it just goes through what happened to make the three riverfront parks, Lewis and Clark Landing, Heartland of America, and Jean Leahy Mall, come to fruition. Gives a little bit of historical background, talks about the group of philanthropic leaders led by Ken Stenson, former Kiewit CEO, that put this together. And it's interesting. It also talks about all of the private money that made these $400 million of park improvements in downtown Omaha possible. In fact, one paragraph says it started with $50 million pledges each from Omaha's Berkshire Hathaway, Sherwood Foundation, Robert Doherty Foundation, and the Suzanne and Walter Scott Foundation. And then hundreds of other private individuals followed that lead.
So you've made it if you make Site Selection Magazine. Was it the centerfold? Was like a pull-out centerfold? Trent,
I think you are confusing it with other magazines that you tend to read.
We were Omaha was Mr. December in Site Selection Magazine.
It also goes on to talk about some of the development that is blossoming in part or because of the parks. It mentions the $600 million Mutual of Omaha Tower and how it'll be tall. It talks about the Mercantile District. And then it says, quote, "The next big step in that direction is Omaha's $356 million streetcar project, fully funded by the city, free to riders, and expected to begin construction next year with which would be 2024, with a 2027 delivery date." And quotes Mayor Gene Stothard as saying it will add to the transformation of downtown, connecting parts of the city that are already growing. In the article, Mayor Stothard also was quoted to say half of downtown right now is surface parking. So what we're doing is trading parking for businesses and residential buildings, and that's what's so exciting.
We need to take our promotion on the road and be like, as seen in Site Selection Magazine, Omaha, Nebraska.
It is indeed great to get this affirmation at the national level. And I think you're going to see more and more national coverage of what's happening down there, not just because of the parks. When the streetcar is up and running, and about the time the streetcar is up and running, Mutual of Omaha will have been open for a while, and you're going to see just a hell of a lot of change. You know, the other thing is we talk about the hundreds of millions of dollars in those park improvements, but what about the $100+ million for Steelhouse Omaha, more than $100 million for the Tenaska Center for Arts Engagement, and more than $100 million for the Kiewit Luminarium? That's like, what, $700 billion worth of just quality of life improvements in downtown funded privately.
$700 million.
Did I say billion?
Yeah, you said billion.
I meant to say 0.7 billion. And with that, we're going to take our middle of the show break for the news on the half hour. And when we come back, Trenton and I are going to be talking about some more national exposure for Omaha. This in the Washington Post about a restaurant in Benson, and we have a couple other things up our sleeves as well. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Okay, 3 minutes.
What's that?
See what else we can break.
Was it glue?
How did this happen?
No, there's screws. You broke the screws.
I was going to move it because I was going to have Jack take this microphone.
That's not good. We don't even know. We need that.
That's all right.
What we'll do is
I wonder how long it's been there.
too long, apparently.
Probably the 80s, because, I mean, the
tensile strength.
All these mics are brand new.
The tensile strength of the nails.
Yeah.
I think Jeff should have to go to
I just poked myself.
Oh, great.
Lowe's.
Workers' comp.
Oh, careful. I mean, can I squeeze by and
Jeff has an awesome set of tools.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's got some skills.
But how thick is it? Like what
2 minutes.
Do you have a little
No,
rod?
he's got more than 2 minutes.
Well, for Fox.
You got rods?
Yeah, don't trip. But
It's an easy fix.
I'm gonna have to
Are you
tell
bleeding?
Scott about that because when the morning show comes on, they're gonna freak out.
Yeah, we need to get that fixed. So, do we have screwdrivers and screws here in the studio?
You just gotta
somewhere, because this empty building's got everything. The thing is, it needs to go through the desk in order for it to be stable.
Yeah, don't worry. Well, let's after the show, we'll look for a...
I can tell right now, looking at it, they just screwed into the surface and not through
Was it
the
only
desk.
2 screws?
Only two screws.
There were only
That's-
two screws in there. That was your
That'll
problem.
do it.
Yeah, I think it had a couple screws loose.
How did it fall?
So basically, when I was moving it, because I was going to have Jack talk into that microphone.
Oh, and
when I'm moving
snapped.
it, all of a sudden, like, snapped right off. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Like a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
good setup.
So what's interesting is it was this way, not it was this way, right? Because
yeah.
but you know what? The best thing about it is we can clean underneath it before we put this back.
Yeah. Apparently, I started the process of cleaning it.
Also needs an electric screwdriver.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and lay her down, because
Yeah.
this thing is just going to get in the way.
Just go get a drill and we'll fix it.
I don't know where I can find a drill.
In this place, we'll find it somewhere.
No, there's no drill here.
They got everything in here. Are you kidding?
Do you got any,
I found a couple of them.
do you have any gauze pads and duct tape?
I'll send Scott a text. Do you have a drill and a screw?
He'll come showing up with a Makita.
Send a picture.
You know.
Yeah, I'll send Scott a text.
Yeah,
Grow Omaha.
because otherwise they'll come in and be pissed.
This is like wardrobe malfunction on the desk.
Don't worry. Merry Christmas morning show.
Yeah, Scott will love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that happening.
Gauze pads.
10 seconds to Fox News.
All right, so we've got Scott Voorhees.
Pardon me.
Jack, you did great on microphone.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Like,
You didn't know that was coming, did you?
I
Yeah,
did
blame
not.
it on Jack.
Were you surprised?
I was very surprised.
So Jack, are all the girls chasing you at school?
No,
No?
no,
Are you
Only
just, like, not
90% of them.
interested?
no. I'm just trying to live my life, you know, have some fun.
Any touch and goes?
What?
Oh,
Trenton, you're on.
Man, I gotta
You're talking to a kid.
Oh, sorry.
Seeing this? You seeing this? Did you see that?
You're 18, aren't you?
17.
Oh, shit.
I'm a
Okay.
minor, underage.
Yeah, that was me.
He's like 54, 55. I don't know.
A new abbreviation you might want to become familiar with is JN1. That's the coronavirus subvariant hitting the nation's northeast.
Totally keep that in.
Responsible for a third of
They're gonna tell us this like on before Christmas Eve, and we ain't got time to get the damn bags.
Infections across the nation.
I'm saying, Scott, by any chance is there a drill and a screwdriver screws in the building?
America is listening to Fox News.
Well, you need to have you had check the. It does big enough screw holes.
Oh, well, we can fix this. This is no. I do so much home repair these days. This is no problem.
You should keep it in your car.
What's that?
You should keep it in your car.
A drill? I kind of need it at home, though.
Be sure to add 3 seconds at the end of it in for you.
I don't have the screws.
You have
Let's go
you have
1,
drill in your
2,
car?
screw.
Oh, manual or electric?
You didn't choose
I only have a manual screwdriver, probably.
No. When you choose,
But I do have a
you're choosing a family.
those ball and paddle things that you can play with.
No. Could you please?
Sort of.
Do you have what do you have?
I mean, I didn't plan on this.
Just manual, but at home I could.
At home, I'm like, I got an arsenal of tools at home.
Visit Dingman's.
We'll take care of it, I'm sure. I mean, all we got to do is drill through the desk because it was just into the surface, like maybe an inch. That was bound to happen like any day.
It was, but
It was a good run.
Was it?
It's amazing what Jeff will do just to have something to talk about during the breaks.
everything here is like duct taped together and stitched.
No.
Which means that was the hardest thing they did as far as like assembling something. I mean, like an inch into the desk.
Obligation at all. Look for that in the mail.
Yeah.
Wait, does anybody have any Flex Seal?
How much time do I do? I don't have time to
About
watch
2
this.
minutes.
2 minutes?
2 minutes.
I can watch this filth off my fingers.
Yeah. Go and wash your hands.
About IT jobs and cybersecurity and AI.
Radio station.
That's a
dirt.
picking finger too.
These fields,
If I did that.
advantage of the high demand, you can enjoy a more rewarding and recession-resistant lifestyle. Train in just a few short months at My Computer Career. No experience necessary.
Scott's gonna come in here. It's like, Michael, what did you do?
To touch your first show with us.
What did you do, Michael? You're breaking our equipment again.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. Need life insurance but have
90 seconds.
blood pressure or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old,
Is your voice on the radio too?
Sometimes when I do weather. Sometimes when I do weather. I mean, they didn't even ask me to. They were just with some days where it's like, okay, we're live. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do it.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, it's cold.
What are you guys doing today?
Feels family Christmas.
During the day or night?
It's 3 p.m., but we got a shot beforehand.
Oh, you have a shot?
We'll take the heat for it.
Gifts.
60 seconds.
And by we mean
Well, I know
Jeff.
you'll take the heat for it.
All of a sudden it was a
You have
group
no
effort.
idea how easy it is to blame Trent for this stuff. Everyone would
Yeah.
believe me.
Hey, this is the most exciting thing that's happening here.
Yeah.
You know?
My tensile strength is much stronger than Jeff's.
More people are watching. Now that you've hit, 1,000 on YouTube.
No one watches this stuff.
Mine's your tensile strength, Jeff.
Anderson Convenience Market, serving Omaha.
Your viewership's growing.
We actually the uncut
30
audience,
seconds.
the uncut audience is pretty loyal. So thank you.
across our community are struggling.
This is Trenton Maggot to remind you to curb your anti-Semitism.
1 in 3 families in the metro is finding it hard to make ends meet. But when
That's
you
a
give
non
to
sequitur.
United Way
I saw that on a hat.
You'll help provide healthy food, safe and stable housing, mental health services, job training, utility assistance, and so much more for those
You
who
seen
need
Curb
it
Your
most in our
Enthusiasm?
community.
What?
Help us build
You know
a
what
stronger
Curb Your
tomorrow.
Enthusiasm is?
Omaha Council
Larry
Bluffs
David, who
Metro.
was a
Meet
co-writer of
your today
Seinfeld.
at
Good show.
Unbelievable. Hilarious.
Now we're back.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton are right here. Weekdays from
Should I
11
break mine
to
too?
2 on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beal sitting next to Trenton Magid. The show is brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. And it is time right now for the weekly Noddle Company's Development Spotlight, in which we talk about one of Noddle Company's projects. And there are a lot of them to choose from. Exarban Village, River's Edge, and Council Bluffs, which we mentioned earlier with the new recreation attraction going there. The Builders District in North Downtown. Village Point Medical Campus, so many of the corporate headquarters around the area like Valmont and Kiewit and HDR are Noddle Company's projects, and many before those were built as well. But today, Trenton is going to talk to us about a Noddle Company's project in Papillion right next to where Papillion turns into Gretna called Steel Ridge.
Yeah, Steel Ridge, Jeff, is at Highway 370 and Interstate 80. It's on both the north and south side of Highway 370. On one side, you have a bunch of car dealerships. Steve Hinchcliffe, great guy, and Jeff Hinchcliffe, which means H&H, is finishing up their Kia dealership, and they've got a few dealerships already open over there. They have something really cool where the outside has covers over a lot of their fields of cars to keep them fresh and hail-free from dents. And they've got the Shine Car Wash there, and then there's still some more lots and pad sites. We'll see some restaurants coming in, and that's a big development. Pella is to the east, and then you go across the street, and you've got 88 Tactical, the Country Club, as they call it, but they have a really good restaurant there. You've got a bunch of industries, trucking facilities. There's still lots available over in Steel Ridge South. And so it's really just a easy access, nice development that Noddle has worked really hard on.
Well, we have some national exposure for Omaha in the Washington Post. And a recent article, it ran December 20th, so earlier this week, in the Washington Post has the headline, "One of America's best sushi restaurants is in Omaha." Yes, Omaha. Although I hate it when they say things like, "Yes, Omaha, the place where there's just a bunch of corn and steak."
Can you freaking believe it?
But it is
fresh from the Missouri River.
And they are talking about OTA, which is David Uderbeck. Is it Uderbeck? Utterback?
I say Utterback.
Uderbeck, one of those two. Anyway, he's a genius, however his name is pronounced, because he has OTA.
Sushi Whisperer.
Which is in Benson, right in the same spot as Yoshitomo, which everyone loves. And then, as you mentioned earlier, when we're talking about how Ota made #1 on Sarah Baker Hansen's 2023 review list, he also has Koji in Countryside Village. But this is all about Ota, and the Washington Post sent some people to try it. 20-course dinner. They only seat 8 people at a time. In fact, the Post talks about the final course. For the final course, the chef hands diners what he jokingly refers to as prairie tuna. It's a slice of Wagyu strip loin, lightly torched, topped with sea urchin butter and golden caviar. Osetra?
Of course.
I'm no Sarah Baker Hansen.
Think about how far we've come, Jeff. When the sushi in Omaha consisted of the old, Mount Fuji Inn.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that place.
And then
that's
also
where I learned how to eat with chopsticks.
The IHOP turned Sushi Ichiban, but it was
Sakurabana now?
Sakurabana, yeah, but it's Sushi Ichiban.
Yeah.
And so we've got a plethora of sushi places, and there's a lot of great sushi places. I'm a fan of Osaka, Blue. What else is there? There's plenty of them. Yeah.
So anyway, if you want to read this, it's kind of fun. Just talks about how David came to being who he is and what he is now as one of the top sushi purveyors in the United States. And it just talks about how hard it is to get into Ota and how worth it is. Our own Sarah Baker Hansen, who writes the Omaha Eats restaurant review, she's quoted in the article a couple times. So if you want to feel really good about what we're doing here in Omaha, read this WAPO article, and you'll get a kick out of really pretty long article. I'm scrolling through it right now, and there is indeed quite a bit in here. So that's kind of cool. And then before we get on with the lightning round here in a little bit, I did want to mention the Dizzy Mule project.
Yeah.
This is in Millwork Commons, which is that cluster of cool industrial buildings and hotels that have been converted into mixed use directly north of Charles Schwab Field. And the anchor of that project is the Ashton Building. Well, just to the south of that was a pretty much vacant lot with a couple historical buildings and some empty space. And that is being converted into the Dizzy Mule project. If you haven't been by there, right around the 2 existing historic buildings. 5 modern multifamily mixed-use buildings are going in. That project is coming along like crazy. And if you haven't walked around Millwork Commons, do so. Go in to that Ashton building. There's a cool miniature park, and then there's the Hello Apartments. The whole area, the Hot Chops Art Gallery has been there for a long time. It is really coming along and starting to be a special urban destination in Omaha.
You got Coneflower Grill.
Creamery.
Yeah, or Coneflower. Yeah.
Oh, they grill the ice cream. Yeah.
And then also there's a new restaurant that just went in.
Well, there's the Dolomiti is getting close to opening. I don't think it's open yet, but then there's a health food place there. Ironically, there's
Cross-Train Brewery.
a bakery where you can get your sweets. Cross-Train Brewery, Archetype Coffee is there, or one of the I think it's Archetype, but one of the coffee shops is there. And then some other businesses. It's just a really cool building and a really cool area.
Black Dog Management and Real Estate, which is Paul and Annette Smith, do an amazing job. They saw the vision down there, and Omaha's good on these nodes and these districts, and that's certainly one to see.
Yeah, so yet another urban success story for Omaha development that is underway and in the works in North Downtown. Going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, you know what that means. The Turner Construction Lightning Round. Looking at my list, and there's quite a bit on here. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha. Jeff and Trenton at your service. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, and we'll be back after this on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
When you're in the mood for some greatest hits.
That's where.
Okay.
Where are you gonna go shopping?
2 minutes.
I'm talking to Scott about the mic right now. Just waiting on
Oh, he's talking to you?
He's talking to me too. He's like, which mic is broken?
It's just the stand. The
You didn't
mic
send
is
him a picture?
probably good.
No, the mic's fine.
Did you send him a picture?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, that stand looks like it's from the 80s, so it's...
Yeah.
He actually goes, "Can you get till 9 o'clock? Can you get till 10 o'clock like that?" I'm like, I wrote like, we'll try to struggle through and get by.
Oh, you really freaked him out.
Get your holiday spirit soaring.
Because he's worried. He's messaging. He's blowing me up.
Oh yeah, I
Because, you know,
feel bad.
Did you do it, Jerry?
I was going to say, Scott, it was the new producer made me pull it.
Man, like I just told him, he's gonna come in and go, Michael, what did you do? You can't be messing with our stuff like this. It's really expensive. It's coming out of your paycheck.
From eye-catching murals and window film to
How
recognition
much?
and history
I
walls
don't think we
and
should.
more. We have the expertise to
that kinda
transform your
cheapens the brand.
space. So,
Don't you?
whether you're looking to impress clients, boost morale, or simply inject some personality,
Plenty of people like
we've
to
got
make
you
fun of.
covered. Check us out today at
I don't think so. I think that
riz.com.
kinda-
That's
Coming back in 45 seconds.
Tell me, think about it.
Temperatures getting low, but demand remaining high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you
I
attract,
think I had a
interview, and hire
cheapens brand.
candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you
How's that?
schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
30 seconds.
No change, eh?
Yeah.
What year was
You
that?
have a choice of
Probably
where to get your
85.
vehicle.
A little,
When you choose Dingman's
like kind of like almost like a
We look
Saturday
like-
night version of what we're doing for a real estate event.
Where yours see where it's at?
I'm Doris Dingman, and at Dingman,
Same time
our
here. We
family
saw those live in the theater when we were like 16.
Accidents are hard, but choosing a repair shop is easy. Visit Dingmans.com.
You're still here?
That's
Oh, yeah, so are we.
Dingmans.com for the top choice in collision repair. At Dingmans, we'd rather be the best than apologize for anything less.
Jack, do you ever get that not so fresh feeling?
Radio 1110 KFAB.
That not so fresh feeling.
Coming back.
Love that, yeah, all the
Free
time.
iHeartRadio app. All your music, radio, and podcasts.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid broadcasting from KFAB Studios in Underwood, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. Now it is time for the moment you've all been waiting for, the Turner Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of Omaha growth and development stories in a short period of time. Thank you to Turner Construction for making this possible. If you missed it last week, we had Corey Taylor from Turner Construction on the show, and he was talking to us about the amazing projects they have underway. Of course, the big Sarpy County data center on Highway 50, that Turner's been involved in that for many, many years, but also talked about some really cool things at Offutt Air Force Base. with mission critical buildings, also some buildings that they are doing to bring Offutt back to full functionality following the 2019 floods. Nice thing about Turner Construction, though, is even though they are big enough and powerful enough and resource blessed enough that they can do projects like at Offutt and the Sarpy County Data Center, they also do tenant improvements and building small retail and commercial and office buildings and everything in between. Full service construction, deep bench of talent, incredible resources, and amazing experience. You couple that with a staff here in Omaha that deeply knows the local market and is interwoven into the fabric of the Omaha culture and business community, you have an outstanding contractor that does outstanding work. Turner Construction, sponsor of the Lightning Round. Well, Trenton, let's get to it. The big retail story this week was Nordstrom Rack. It'll open its first Nebraska store in a 30,000 square foot former Bed Bath & Beyond space in Village Point. The actual address is 255 North 170th Street. This is the east side of Village Point Shopping Center. Opening is planned for next fall of 24.
That's a huge get for Village Point.
And it's a late get for Omaha. There are a lot of markets in this part of the country that are substantially smaller than Omaha that have Nordstrom Rack. So we've been waiting for this one for a long time. Nevertheless, glad it's coming. A lot of times we get messages from Grow Omaha listeners saying, I wish Omaha had this retailer, or why doesn't Omaha have that retailer? Nordstrom Rack has always been, for the last 5 or 6 years, probably in the top 3.
Right. There's a lot of rumors over the years.
Most mentioned.
There's also rumors that Ruth's Chris Steakhouse found a location, but we haven't been able to confirm.
We know they've been actively looking. I mean, they've actually, over the last few months, talked to a couple brokers in our office about potential sites that probably wouldn't work for them. So we know they've been actively looking.
Because we need more steakhouses just like we need more scooters.
What the hell are you talking about?
Starbucks.
Of course we need more. You can never have enough steakhouses. This is Omaha. We love steakhouses.
Good point.
Especially the good ones. Yeah, we need all of them we can possibly get our hands on.
Yeah, we don't necessarily want the bad ones.
Yeah, the good ones. Stuffed Olive has opened at 1140 Capitol Avenue in downtown's Capital District. The Martini Bar also serves elevated appetizers. This is a sister business to the Roxy, the retro bar, which opened in the same building not that long ago, earlier this fall. The Stuffed Olive and Roxy have existing locations in Iowa City, Iowa, and Des Moines, Iowa. And I've heard good things about it. I've not yet tried it, but walking by when it was under construction, it looked cool. So I'll have to go down to the Capital District and give that a try. It's in the same building as Texas de Brazil Steakhouse, if that helps you picture where exactly in the Capital District it's located. Our friend Javier Trujillo, the owner of Javi's Tacos, has opened Time to Rise and Shine Elkhorn. This is in the same retail strip as one of the Javi's locations, the one right there on 204th Street. In fact, the exact address is 2611 North 204th Street. It is a breakfast and lunch only concept. And then right next door to that, to the north, pretty soon, Javier will also be opening a cool sports bar called the Frosty Mug. It's not ready yet, but Time to Rise and Shine Elkhorn is indeed open. Eat the Worm, an old market bar and grill that closed in August, is moving into the former location of the Monster Club at 1217 Howard Street.
Hard to believe that didn't work. It was kind of fun. But
the Monster Club?
Yeah, it was
Never
fun.
went there. Was it a neat little place?
Yeah, I took my
had some monsters?
niece and nephew there.
Were they scared?
Not really.
Anyway, Eat the Worm serves Mexican food, tequila, beer, wine, and cocktails. This opening is planned for January. Bellagio Pizzeria at 6922 North 102nd Circle. That's just near the I-680 and Irvington exit, has added lunch service. They had been a dinner only. Now they have lunch every day except for Sunday. That's still just dinner only. Last week we told you about Herdat Sports Bar and Grill's second location. In Gretna, they'll be taking over the McDarrow's Pub and Grill, which is located along Highway 6. We said it was opening in late December. It's actually going to be January 10th. So that will be opening pretty soon, January 10th. We got a new coffee shop in South Omaha. It's spelled Y-I-R-E-H apostrophe S. Was that Ures maybe?
Let's go with that.
Y-I-R-E-H apostrophe S. We'll call it Ures Cafe. Is new coffee shop at 1920 Vinton Street. There's a Nuestra Familia grocery store right in that area. It's not terribly far from Louis M's. A lot of people love Louis M's. I know I do. So good to see a locally owned coffee shop go into the. Also, International Bakery has an outlet right there in that exact area.
Oh, nice.
So you could kind of do both of those. Got some ribbon cuttings coming up in Sarpy County, courtesy of the Sarpy County Chamber. Take 5 oil change at Shadow Lake Town Center. We'll have a ribbon cutting on January 9th. And then Absolute Sports Nutrition, new store at 2340 Cornhusker Road in Bellevue. It'll have a ribbon cutting on January 12th. Trenton, we've got a new restaurant alert. New restaurant alert.
Whoop.
We love new restaurants as food addicts here on the Grow Omaha Show, and we love talking about them. This one is going to be called The Tenant. It's not a tenant in a building. The tenant is a tenant, but the name of the restaurant is The Tenant. 6201 Maple, right in the heart of Benson. And the Instagram page for this new restaurant says, fine food, strong drinks. Sign me up. Sounds exactly what I'm looking for.
You got it from the Green Onion, probably.
It'll have a rooftop rosé garden, and opening is scheduled for late this winter.
How do you spell tenant?
Just the regular T-E-N-A-N-T, The Tenant.
Okay.
Oh, are you thinking like a
tenant,
like a tenet or like a truth or something?
A really
like
bad movie, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a tenant. So it's the name of the tenant, and it probably is a tenant in the building.
And they pay the landlord.
Hey, I tell you what, if you've driven by the Costco at 123rd and West Dodge Road this week with all the Christmas shopping and seen the chaos, you'll be glad to know the walls are going up for the 3rd metro area Costco at 180th and Maple, and that probably can't happen soon enough. The music is playing, which means we're out of here. Hope everyone has a great Christmas, and I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm still Trenton Magid.
We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Turner Construction, and we will talk with you again next week at 9 o'clock right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Mic down.
Your mic was still on.
Your mic wasn't down yet.
You should wear those headphones.
Do you have someone?
We're clear.
That'll be fun. People like that.
Mic down.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.